Like I said, today is February 27th, 2026. Like Myers and Alliance, my God. Reality. Hitting a lot of people. How that church was just having people show up to yell stuff at me. They were photoshopping scenes so that they could make fun of me for having me raped. Some guy admitting that he watched us today, me and my husband. And those agents had told him not to tell no matter what happened. You better tell, you could go to jail as an accessory on it. Because there's a good chance they stole $10,500,000 from the government. If they took my Trekasami money for that tip, they've stolen at least $500,000. You know, I wanted my money to help my kids. John had told me, my oldest, that God laid it on his heart that he was going to be a minister one day. And like I said, I am so proud of him for starting his own little church and moving to Florida, starting it down there. And one of the things I wanted with my money is to help him with that little church. You know, I remember being in his church and that minister of his praying for him, really praying for him. He went to pray for me and I told him no, pray for him. And I stepped aside and I was looking around, I was watching. And I thought, I got this. My children will have their lives. And I'll make sure of it. And they'll leave them alone. They want to go after me, they can come after me. But at least they'll have their lives. How many people love their children that much? That's where the officers that watch me, where in April or May of 24, Myers North Maine showed up and said, you know, it's ridiculous for anyone to insult her. She almost died to save everyone. They always knew she was drugged and told to say it before. And that tape was photoshopped her washing in the shower. They always knew that. And she almost died to save everyone. And it's ridiculous to ever insult her. People were walking out of Myers, North Maine, in North Canton. They said she almost died to save everyone. They always knew she was drugged and told to say it before, and they photoshopped everything. None of this is funny. Reality check. Where I told you, what was it, April 14th to 18th of 24. I was in Marshall's, and one of those bad guys that would harass me was in there. I just glared at him. I thought, I am not in the mood for you today. I go out to my car, and he's parked right next to mine. Looks at the lady, looks over at me. She don't realize who I work for. I work for Will. Will's been playing all those drug dealers to get them all. So they get arrested. He starts laughing. Well, later that day, I went to Canton, Monument Park. A lot of people were talking. That one guy that works for the guy that's doing this tour. Now, this is funny. They said he was playing all those drug dealers to get them arrested. Well, today, it's one of the things they were talking about. That guy was playing both sides. Wonder what the cartel's waiting for. I've wondered what the police are waiting for. People talking about those 2 agents stealing from my case. Other people admitting to seeing me in the bathroom. And how everybody knows how not funny this is of me using the bathroom and in my apartment. And other people have it. It's like, are you slow? They announced it in 18 that Will found another way of making money off the case. He sold a login for $25 a pop. And then teenagers had little kids, old ladies, truck drivers, nurses, doctors, teachers, people in nursing homes. I could go in other states. 19, and then in 21, 4 or 5 different states had it. It was on the internet. So everybody turned those agents in for taking my money. I'd like to help John with his little church. He told me that God laid it on his heart that he was to be a minister one day. I watched him preach. He's not bad. But he has a heart that wants to serve God. And a kind one. I want to help Joshy. I want to help his daughter, Crystal. She's going to start college. Make sure she has a decent car to get there. I want to help Danny. He took on all that extra debt trying to help Carl. An agent, John. I need that money for that. And then his daughter, Audrey, she doesn't have very much. But she loves her dad. I got good to do with that money. And I earned it. We all know you don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet, and it's a federal crime. And like I said, that guy in my old apartment, he wants you to show up and explain yourself. I wouldn't do it at the apartment, maybe at the sheriff's office. But you need to explain it to that fool. How he was part of the people fooling you. What the consequences are for that. And having people harmed trying to extort money from the government. It's like a chaos of hurricane. Of a case that never got cleaned up. You know, there was out of the Portage County Sheriff's, one of the correction officers got arrested for taking explicit pictures, that's naked pictures of someone, and then trying to extort money and sextortion. Andrew Drabeck up there had 7 victims, sextortion, cyber stalking, 12 to 15 years. And people were talking today, anybody else from that police department, they had anything to do with this, they better be keeping their mouth shut. One of their correction officers already got caught doing this to someone else. It is illegal for an attorney to set up button cameras in someone's home, trying to extort money from them. It is extortion. Right on Google. It's a federal crime. Let alone Photoshop washing and selling kitty porn on my grandkids' cold body. Drug confessions, fake sodium, pentothal, hypnotic drugs, and told to say it. Photoshopping, washing, attempt extortion out of the government. Having me beaten, raped, and human trafficked under drugs, and attempted murder. My God, these people should have been arrested the first day. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. I got to go to work. But Agent Hunt, I do need my money. You don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It is a federal crime. It is a federal crime for you to tell on me. People were complaining how you let those other people that were harming me listen to you bully me on the phone and mock me. And then you told them you were turning me back over to an FBI agent or a police officer turns somebody over that is harming someone back to the person that's hurting them. It is a federal crime. You can go into attempted murder. Withholding my money, misdirecting is theft from the government. Telling an informant or a victim they can't say anything is a federal crime. It's tampering with a witness. An obstruction. Telling on a victim calling for help, same thing. Another 20. Got like 100 years. Bullying me. Mocking me. Or how they were trying to kill me. And you didn't blame them. Because some idiot called me a faker. It was a medication or medical malpractice almost killed me. I'm going to upload this. And people were talking about the things they photoshopped. That they were making fun of me for having me raped. And for me to have to take care of my injuries. I know that. They said that years ago. They're just making fun of her for having her raped and them getting away with it. And nobody stopped them. Someone needs to. And like they said, we all know she let the president's office know. You do know he has a recorded line. I already gave his office Walmart 62's phone number and told them to pull December 1st, 25. That guy confessing that pretty Michelle had showed up and told him this whole thing was a plan to extort money from the government. My ex-husband was involved. And the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. She doesn't know who he is. And that guy Pete running his mouth about her, it's just some guy Dave hired on his own. And the tape of Weird With Yourself is photoshopped a washing in the shower in the other room. And they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before. And the whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. They're going to sign it to the appropriate agency to take care of this. I like my money agent job. New name and social for me, Carl. Medical cards. People were talking, she has so many injuries from that case. I do. And I'd like a letter of thank you and sign it. Somebody opens their mouth, how they're part of the extortion group, arrest them. They're federal crimes. Like they said years ago, anybody stupid enough to put their names on the tapes before, I'll end up in jail for them. These people confessed to heinous crimes. That's evil. I'm going to upload this.